Hi everybody and welcome back to Bakes by Vasco. I'm Michelle with 1L and I'm glad you're here for part 2 of our apple series. Today we're going to be making peanut butter and apple crumble bars. Now this is the first time I've ever made them, but they sound really good, they sound really shareable, and we're going to do that today. So first up, you're going to need your base and crumble. What you're going to need for that is 1.5 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats, 1 cup of brown sugar firmly packed, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 cup, which is 1 stick of salted butter melted, and a 1/2 cup of peanut butter melted, the creamy kind. Now we're ready for the apple filling. What you're going to need for that is 2 cups of finely diced apples that you will have peeled and cored, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. Okay, now I've done a few things off camera that you need to do to prepare this. First off, you take your flour and your oats and your baking soda and your brown sugar, and you whisk them together in a bowl till they're well combined. Then you take your butter and your creamy peanut butter and you melt them in the microwave until smooth. Now, here's the part that I will show you on camera, is you're going to pour your creamy peanut butter mixture and not dump everything over into your dry ingredients. And then just stir them up with a fork. You're going for that classic crumbly dough. Not quite a dough, but just do that until everything's coated. Make sure you take your rubber spatula, get all the remnants of your melty out. Normally I don't bake with any kind of peanuts or peanut butter product, but because this was special for the lady with the apples, and I wanted to do something that wasn't your traditional caramel apple dessert, although I do have an awesome caramel apple cookie that I could show you. If you want to see that, leave me a comment. But peanut butter seemed like the good thing, and it's definitely a back to school sounding treat, peanut butters and apples. So, all right, now you've got a nice crumbly base here. Take your 9x13 baking dish that you have greased. I use butter spray in mine. And you're going to use about 2/3 of this mixture, and you're just going to layer it into the bottom of your pan. Don't be afraid to use your fingers. And you just push that down into your baking dish. Get that out of the way. Got a lot going on in my kitchen, so there's lots of stuff everywhere. Got a nice base going. Got some left for your topping. Now let's make that apple filling. All right, as you saw earlier, I diced all these apples. We've got 2 cups here. They are brown, but there's nothing wrong with them. They are fresh picked. As soon as you cut into an apple, anybody knows they're going to immediately start to change color, but they're great. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your sugar and your cornstarch and your cinnamon and nutmeg and your lemon juice, and you're just going to toss all that together to coat the apples. Then once you've got those nice and coated, you bring your crumble base back, and we're just going to layer the apples in on top. I know that August is still pretty hot for thinking about fall, but this is a nice transitional dessert. Like I said, they are transportable so you can share them. They use fresh harvest. I love anything I can get that's fresh. So like I said, lady picked these fresh for me, and that is awesome. Fresh harvested apples. Okay. Now you got those pretty even. You take the last of your crumble, and then you're just going to sprinkle it over the top. Make sure you have clean hands always before you do this. Your oven should be preheated to 375 degrees. There you go. It's ready for the oven now. As I said, 375 center rack, and we're going to put these in for 25 to 30 minutes. What you want is the top brown and golden and the filling bubbly. I know my oven, so I'm going to set it for 30 minutes. Our ticky timer has gone off, and it is now time to remove our peanut butter apple crumble bars from the oven. We have a nice brown top, and I can hear the fruit bubbling. Now, you want to let these cool absolutely, totally, completely before you cut into them. So we'll let that happen, and I'll be right back. All right, I cheated a little bit, and I put these in the fridge for about 10 minutes to finish cooling off because the bottom of my glass dish was still hot and they were still cooking. So they are now cooled completely through. So let's cut them into bar size eating pieces and go from there. I'm going to use my pastry cutter because it just makes nice, clean, even cuts straight through. All right, these are cut. We're going to tray them up, get some pictures for my thumbnail, and we'll get to the best part. Once again, everybody, I'm Michelle with 1L, and this is Bakes by Vasco. Thank you for hanging out with me on part 2 of our apple series. Tonight, it is peanut butter apple crumb bars. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, the best part of baking is the eating.